Welcome to the EmpowerHer Entrepreneur podcast with Janis Boudreau, the ultimate destination for fearless women business owners ready to conquer their next level of success. Get ready to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit as we dive deep into all things related to building your empire, setting ambitious goals, and scaling your business to new heights. This podcast is your go-to resource for empowerment and encouragement. Tune in every week as we inspire, motivate, and empower you to embrace your full potential as a woman entrepreneur. Hi everybody, it's Janis Boudreau and I'm back. And I'm one of your fearless founders. Today's episode is called When Fear Becomes the Foe, Overcoming Entrepreneurial Jitters. We have them, all of us. It's just how we're going to get through them. I want to welcome you to this empowering episode where we're going to delve deep into the psyche of women, entrepreneurship. And today's episode, When Fear Becomes Foe, spotlights how fear, particularly for women in the entrepreneurial sphere, can often emerge as their biggest hurdle. Yet, it's also a powerful catalyst for change and growth when navigated correctly. I'm going to kickstart the episode, everyone, with a personal truth. And I'm going to set the stage for a raw, insightful conversation about the universality of fear in entrepreneurship. I am a female entrepreneur who has turned their fears into absolute stepping stones. And my fears weren't one. They were one of many in many stages and many aspects of growing my business. I'm going to share my unique stories, any strategies for facing and dismantling these fears, and I'm going to give you some practical advice for all of you listeners out there at different stages of their entrepreneurial journey. First and foremost, the anatomy of fear. Understanding where those psychological roots of fear and its disproportionate impact on women and entrepreneurs. Obviously, women, men, we handle things a bit differently. We have a lot of different social things around us. Often we are caregivers, mothers, we could be childless, but no, we're taking care of parents. It becomes very much a society where both people are working. Which is fabulous, but sometimes a lot of us women are still expected, to do all the laundry, clean the house, get those meals on the table. So us challenging ourselves to even work for ourselves and be an entrepreneur is something just in itself that is a bit scary or a bit worrisome to us. But the anatomy of fear is what totally shuts us down. When we are in fear mode, I know because I've had those moments, I literally completely freeze. I get almost night sweats. Every rational thought goes from your mind. And this fear, we've done it since we were little girls. We've had this within us that we built upon it, that we, different things that happen in our lives. We grew the fear. We propagated it within ourselves. But this anatomy of this fear, whether it be from our childhood, as we've gone on, it is different in all of us, but it is. Sometimes it can be fight or flight. Some people just completely, absolutely shut down. So we have to first accept, when we're in fear, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What happens? That's something, if you want to take out a journal and get going on it, that would be excellent to, what is your anatomy of the fear? Start to recognize what does it feel like when it starts creeping in? And it does start creeping in. It can be anywhere. You're bringing a new product. All of a sudden you're getting a new contract. You want to expand and go into retail space. You are putting yourself out there for the first time. You're going online. You're doing more things on the internet. I have so many things that I've seen people be in fear of. And all of the reactions are slightly different, but yet all the same. One of the biggest things about all this is after you recognize what the anatomy of your fear looks like, is deciding if it's a barrier or a springboard. Because real life entrepreneurial fear is both a barrier and a catalyst for growth. I am one in my history and my stories. I succumb to fear in the short term. And in the long term, once I snap my, little tush out of it, it completely becomes a springboard for me. So I hope that you can, gather some of the things that we're going to talk about on this podcast today. And that becomes something also for you, that the barrier happens, but now you're running for that vault. You're hitting the springboard and you're going off. You are using it for growth. I have been presented in so many different ways of fear of something that happened. Example, I'm actually going to use the opportunity to talk about liability. I had got threatened once to be sued, and it had changed. First, I want to tell you, I thought I was going to pass out. All of us in the foot care industry, just so you know, it can happen. It can happen very easily. That's why I create forms with lawyers now. I sell those packages to everybody because I make sure that I'm 100% protected. But where that came from was me literally, I really thought I'd pass out. I remember having no words. I could barely speak. It was like a barrier. I was like, that's it. I'm shutting down. I'm not doing anymore. I'm not growing. I'm not moving. I just want to, crawl into a hole. Okay, but then springboarded when I woke up the next day, or a few days, that was a doozy. I decided what are my outcomes here? What can I do to protect myself further? What can I learn from this? What can I change from this? What maybe doesn't need to change and that we were doing right? So when you get into fear mode, whatever it may be, use it as an opportunity to list what are you so afraid of? Where it's really coming from. For me, it was was my consent good enough? Was paperwork charting good enough? Did we document well? Were our systems in place? So from that, I was able to go check, or no, or edit. And that's exactly what you need to be doing. There can be a fear of, the biggest thing I see is in foot care nursing, the fear of putting yourself out there, even getting a Facebook page or getting a website, or some people almost keeping in secret what they're doing or trying to go under the wire. And that's okay. I'm not talking about someone who just wants a small business, but to not do it just because you're afraid is not the answer. That means you really want what's on the other side of it. You just haven't figured a way to get there. So you need to start saying, why do you want this? What am I afraid of? What can I put in place? Who can I talk to? Next thing, the fear toolkit. There are expert strategies and personal tips on navigating entrepreneurial fears. I'm going to actually give you 10 strategies that I have used and that has helped me, something really to think about. I know all of us are so different in our entrepreneurial journey. And if you think fear goes away, it doesn't. When I was a mobile foot nurse and then had to get my first clinic, fear. When I went into, I have 21 nursing homes now, as I gain more and more, fear. When I had a new product, fear. I had those hit me, but I came out of it very quick. I did it with my fear toolkit of a simple strategy for me from 1, 2, 3 to move on to the next stage. What do they say, that 5-second rule? I think that's a good book too. I'm going to tell you a little bit my fearless journey. So my fearless journey began as a single mother who ended up, I was a nurse. I was always a part-time worker, actually. I wasn't a key person in our household making money. I made a little bit of money, but it was always about the children. Well, I ended up divorcing and then met another gentleman. I was very fortunate, amazing. I am married to him still to this day. But I found that I needed to, in fear, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm making this big change. I first had to find out, well, how can I make this work? Because my ex has always gone out of the country. I was predominantly really having the kids full time. I actually took a break from my career and helped run my husband's roofing company, which instilled for me to be able to work more of a, like even 9 to 3, to be able to pick up the kids. I was so full-time busy with sports and taking care of those kids while my ex-husband worked. So I knew I had to do something that was going to relate and work well. Lo and behold, I decided to be a foot nurse. And was I in fear that I was going to make money, or how this is going to work, or were people going to see me? You know what? I want to say I ignored fear a little bit in the beginning. I remember just putting on blinders and going so forward. I ended up taking a small contract. I literally had a bag in my trunk. I was doing feet. Imagine you got so good at it though, and then I decided not to work a contract and go off on my own. I was always worried. I think that I can't believe sometimes, I guess, if you know where I'm at today. I ended up opening up a clinic space with no overhead at the front of my home. I was worried about that. I worried about what people would think. Is this professional? Oh, heavens, Betsy. I'm so glad I didn't worry about, I ignored that. Are you kidding? I ended up building a full-time clientele with a room at the front of my home that I did foot care in. And then I was ready to spend the money and have some overhead. So I moved to a commercial space at a big wellness center, and I was scared. I'm like, am I gonna be able to make the rent? How many people? I was really, really growing. I got scared of when I was hiring nurses, of when I went from one office staff to 2, and now we're at a completely different building. There are so many things out there for me, and you know what? Sometimes I had fear, but I was fearless. Do you know what I mean by that? Whatever may have slowed me down in the beginning, I take a deep breath and I very, very quickly move forward. I kind of have an attitude, oh, no, you don't, and yes, I will. I will stop at nothing. I'm extremely competitive. I make sure to educate myself. My journey all along the way, I don't even know that I had that big of cheerleaders. I think I kept so hyper focused, which is, I hope, what a lot of you guys are doing. Like, if you understand and can actually visualize where you want to be, you can take the actions without fear to get there. So some of the key takeaways are, you know what, fear in entrepreneurship, it's universal. It carries a particular weight for us women, and it's definitely influenced by societal and all the internal pressures for us. But by understanding and confronting these fears, us women entrepreneurs can unlock new levels of personal and professional growth, everyone. So strategies for facing fear vary. And from practical business decisions to your personal mindset shifts, which is definitely what I did. I'm a big mindset shift person. And you know what? Listen to others' experiences can spark inspiration and courage. And community and support do play a crucial role in navigating the entrepreneurial journey. You're not alone in your fears. All of you out there that have taken courses, workshops with us, you're in our private foot masters group. Now, this is a group that all of us are having high-end thoughts, high-end inspirations, and we are encouraging each other. We are the board that is giving answers to questions that they're not weak. They are strong. They are correct. They are moderated. They are encouraging you to go above and beyond, and to not live in fear, especially if you're trying to grow your company. So we'll remind you that every fear you overcome is going to mark a pivotal step towards not just becoming a successful entrepreneur, ladies, but evolving as an empowered woman in the face of adversity. Certainly, facing fear as women entrepreneurs involves a blend of mental, emotional, and practical strategies, ladies. So here are the 10 strategies. I kind of wrote them out in short notes, and because I wanted to give 10, so bear with me. Number 1, embrace fear as a growth tool. Understand that your fear is a natural part of embarking on unknown paths, especially in entrepreneurship. Instead of running from it, embrace fear as a sign that you are pushing your boundaries and achieving growth. If you cannot realize that fear is growth, that is huge. 2, networking and support groups. You're going to want to connect with other women entrepreneurs through networking events, online forums, social media groups. Sharing experiences and advice can provide both support and practical insights to navigate challenges. So networking and support groups can, they can be paid and they can be not. I look at my journey, and I always, when I was more like starting my foot care business, I would be mobile. Well, then I would be talking and learning from people who had a clinic. When I had a clinic, I was learning and talking to people who did education. And it goes on and on. Outside of now, I am one of the biggest foot care providers in Canada. I am looking now for, like me, my networking support group is now growing because I'm offering different things. Obviously, I have a podcast, so I'm offering a lot of other things. But if you align yourself with people you can learn from, people who have done it, they're maybe just a couple steps ahead of you. If you are aligning yourself with people who are the no, oh, I don't know if you should do that. Okay, they're not your people. They're not going to help you. They're not going to assist you. I've seen it. I've actually seen it, unfortunately, on quite a few forums where the expertise level coming from the person giving advice is they're just a fear-monger. They're trying to stop that nurse. They're always saying, oh, I don't think your college will let you do that. I don't think this, that, blah, blah, blah. I actually have seen it quite a bit over the last decade. And it's not coming from a place of information. Absolutely, there are rules with business and what you can and what you can't do. But what I'm more saying is make sure you're aligning yourself with somebody ahead of you that you can absolutely learn from. So education and continuous learning, that's number 4. Invest in your education about the industry you're in. The more you know, the less you fear. Knowledge about your market, the competition, and business skills can build confidence and reduce anxiety. This is huge. Guys, there's education everywhere. It is just about what I'm offering. It is out there. Lots of conferences happen throughout the year with associations, with like Kathy CPC does one in April. There's another one. There's a couple associations do them in May. There are always things to be able to educate yourself. Don't be afraid to take a business course. What if I told you I took a course on MailChimp, but it helped my business? These are all the things. Instead of being afraid, example, you're like, I don't know about social media. I don't know about running a Facebook page. I don't want to put it out there. Well, why don't you take a course? And when I say course, you can take them relatively cheaply. You could take a social media strategy course. I know we have one. We offer it to you guys. There are things that can make you feel much better along the journey and keep that fear in behind. Number 5, mindfulness and stress management techniques. Incorporate mindfulness practices like meditation, yoga, or deep breathing exercises into your daily routine to manage stress and keep it very much at bay. Emotional stability is key in decision making and facing entrepreneurial challenges. I'm going to tell you right now, I do this thing that I close my eyes and I breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am following the pattern of a box, and then out 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh heavens, I've done this in my car, I've done it in my office, I've done it laying in bed. I have needed breathing so many times. I am also a person outside of this. I do join yoga. I join many other practices that are soothing. And it's okay even sometimes to just lay down or use meditation. Find a way to be doing something that when the fear is the best of you, you can relax. 6, very important. Celebrate your small wins, ladies. Recognize and celebrate every small achievement or milestone in your entrepreneurial journey. And this positive reinforcement can boost your confidence and diminish fear by focusing on progress rather than obstacles. Stop focusing on what you don't have or where you're not. Focus on all the small wins and where you want to be. That's the best way to put it. 7, develop a strong vision and goals. Having a clear vision and set of goals for your business can serve as a constant reminder of why you started on the path. And this clarity can help you navigate through fear by keeping your focus on the bigger picture. If you have not sat down and got out that journal, what is your strong vision and what are your goals? Do you know that I do this every single year? I'm sure I've mentioned in other podcasts. Every year I have, example, my 2024, and I have 10 goals. Those 10 goals are broke down on 10 different pages, what I have to do to get each of those goals. This is what keeps me focused. And if I have a strong vision, fear is much more in the background. 8, preparation and planning. Mitigate fear by preparing thoroughly for different aspects of your business. From financial planning to emergency preparedness, having a plan can provide a sense of control and security. For me, this is why we developed the policy and procedures that you may have seen it as one of the forms for purchase online. We did this over a decade, and we have all of these in place. So that way we have preparation, we have planning, we know, example, God forbid, Jewel leaves one day and goes on a cruise and she just don't come back. I know that I've got the policies and procedures. I've got my preparation that although, one of the best business managers, I don't want to say have her replace, but we have something in line that when the next person comes, they feel strong about what they need to be doing. So with preparation and planning, that's for me. I have every policy procedure. I am ready to go. If this were to happen, that were to happen. That's something further along in my entrepreneurial journey that I did for Foot Care. 9, physical well-being. Maintain a healthy lifestyle with regular exercise and nutritious diet, adequate rest. Physical well-being significantly impacts mental health and can strengthen your resilience to this stress and fear. The worst thing I see is when I am mentoring somebody and they are stressed out and they're on their 3rd coffee of the day. Well, probably not the best idea, sweetheart. It is not. Start looking about what you can be putting into your body. Are you hydrating enough throughout the day? You wouldn't believe it. I actually start to have anxiety attacks if I become dehydrated. It's something I only really figured out in the last 2 years. So physical well-being, lifestyle, exercise plays an integral part. Because if you're already not feeling well, it's okay, perfect example. I had some stress recently and I did not sleep well for a few nights. I can assure you, by the time I'm walking into the office, they wanted to walk away because I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't able to answer or help that much. It's the huge delay, right? And another one, and the last one, seek professional help when needed. If fear starts to overwhelm you and hinders your ability to function effectively in your business, it might be time to seek professional help. Therapists or coaches specialize in entrepreneurial challenges and can offer strategies to manage fear constructively. I'm going to tell you myself, I want to say it was exactly a year and a half ago, I ended up getting a corporate coach. Now this lovely woman Tree, I end up meeting not only in group, but in private sessions. She's essentially a corporate coach. She takes me to such a higher level of understanding and being and growth. She keeps me outcome focused. So I needed that. I needed somebody to help guide me into this higher level journey. We all do. There's lots of people out there. It may just be a mentorship program for you. So lastly, remember that fear doesn't signify weakness. Facing it head on will be a testament to your strength and commitment to your entrepreneurial journey. I wish you all the best, ladies. Do not be afraid of the fear. Grasp it, understand it, grow from it, climb a mountain from it. I believe in you very much, and I wish you the best.